Hey leaders, this is my 9th try at this video. I'm going to do my best to keep it as succinct as possible and not fumble my words. I just wanted to give you some information about Moxie, what our plan is in the midst of our current crazy world. So the leaders that God has put in charge of us, both the local church leaders and our state and federal leaders, are telling us it's not wise for us to meet in large groups, and we're going to listen to that wise counsel, which means we will not have Moxie this Wednesday, and we will not have Moxie next Wednesday at least. It also means that Radiant this coming Wednesday is canceled. We are looking to postpone it and get it rescheduled. Our tentative dates right now are May 1st and May 2nd. Depending on what happens, we'll see what happens. What that doesn't mean, though, is that we are not going to continue to build relationships with these students and minister to the students that God has put in our lives to be a part of their story. So we're going to try and engage with them in a couple different ways. We're going to try and use technology to our benefit. One of the ways we're going to do that is to create some engagement on a daily basis through social media. There are a few better tools on the planet to engage groups of people than social media. But our group of people is decidedly young, which means we've got to be very specific with the way we utilize that. The big ones are Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. And here's where we're at. The vast majority of our students do not have a Facebook. Their parents have a Facebook, but they do not have a Facebook. The students that are on social media in our youth group are going to be on Instagram, they're going to be on Snapchat, and they're probably on TikTok. We have utilized Snapchat in the past, and it doesn't work great for utilization. It works really good if you want to talk to one person. If you want to talk to a group of people, it tends to break down a little bit. And on top of that, honestly, most of them aren't using it the way they used to use it because of TikTok. We are not going to utilize TikTok because that's a whole bag of worms to try and solve in the midst of everything else that is going on right now. We already have Instagram. We already have an Instagram presence, and our Instagram will reproduce whatever we do on Instagram on Facebook. So we're going to utilize Instagram as much as possible. We're going to put it out to the parents. We're not saying you should let your kids have an Instagram account, but if you have an Instagram account, follow at Moxie Students. And then if you see something, just, allow your student to engage with us, because we want to continue to build those relationships. That's the plan right now. And what that means is that every day at 2 p.m., there's going to be a post that comes out that is designed to engage the students. Our hope is to ask a question and to get some dialogue going on Instagram. So me and Jimmy, Heather, we're all going to be on from 2 to 2:30 every day, just checking out the conversations that are happening and engaging. Our hope is that you guys would join us in that. Put a reminder in your phone or whatever, and then from 2:05, get on, check out the question, put something in the comments, interact. If you see one of your students that's left a comment, reply to them just to continue having conversations with them. One of the other things we're going to do is that every Friday we're going to try and play an interactive game called Story Charades, and our hope is that we would get some engagement that way, getting some videos back from the students, just because I think it would be fun and hilarious, and it's a thing we haven't tried, so we're going to try it. Now, as far as our Wednesdays, we are going to continue in the series that we're in right now. So this Wednesday, I'm going to teach about baptism, and then next Wednesday, we're going to finish our series, The Way, with prayer and fasting. And then when the next series starts, it'll still be the Create series. Regardless of what's going on in our world, we're going to continue to put the truths in front of these students that God has put on our hearts to share with them. So we're going to keep doing that. But we can't meet, so we're going to utilize a software called Zoom. We looked at a bunch of different ways for us to engage with the students through live broadcasting, but very few of them have as many ups to their system as Zoom. So Zoom is an online meeting platform, but it does some pretty interesting things. One thing it does is it will let you communicate with up to 100 people at one time in a room, which means we can essentially have all of Moxie together on a Wednesday night. It also has the ability to allow us to break into smaller rooms for life groups. Our hope is to be able to do that next week. I don't know that we're going to be able to get all of those details worked out this week, but next week, that's our hope. It also gives us the ability to communicate with them through polling and those kind of things. One of the things that I like about it the most is that it is not particularly a social networking tool. So even if a parent loads the Zoom app on their child's tablet or their student's phone, it's pretty much just an online meeting platform. So the only way you can use it is if you need to do an online meeting with someone, which is, to me, a lot safer than giving them the, unfettered access to YouTube or Instagram or Snapchat or any of those things. So that's our hope. So what that means for you guys is we're going to keep our time of 7 o'clock. So we're going to kick this off at 7 o'clock. The basic layout of the service is going to be, there's a countdown that's playing in the Zoom meeting. When that's over, we'll have a host come up. We'll play a game. We'll use the polling feature to engage the students and play that game. And then instead of having live worship the way that we usually do, we want to try and utilize technology in a new way. We want to leverage this opportunity that God has put in front of us to do something that we haven't been able to do before. So in the interest of, number one, them not having a huge attention span and not being in a space specifically devoted to worship, we want to keep our services a little bit shorter. So instead of having a large worship set with a band, we are going to focus on a single song. And we're going to use it to introduce songs that are going to become a part of the regular rotation for Moxie. So our hope is that because we have a captive audience with a device, that they will be able to digest those words on an even deeper level than when we introduce them on a Wednesday night. And that way, whenever we can start to gather together again as a family, like, everyone will already have an intimate knowledge of these songs that we're introducing to sing back to the King of the universe. After the song, I'll go into the teaching, and then after that, this week, that'll probably be it. We'll hang out for a few minutes on the meeting and then get out of there. And then hopefully next week, we will have life group time. So if you would, please go ahead and download Zoom either on your computer or your phone, whichever way you think you will use it best. It's free to set up an account. You also don't have to set up an account. You can literally just join the meeting in the link that we will put out. And then I think that is it. Oh, and then just log in to the meeting around 7 o'clock on Wednesday and be a part of this adventure that we're going to go down. Who knows how this is going to play out this week? It's kind of exciting and scary at the same time. So I'm excited that I have all of you guys coming along on this journey with us. And let's just pray that the students, that they would continue to be able to express themselves in this weird space that they're in, being younger, but then also having to deal with the way that the world is dealing with COVID-19. And then on top of that, that they would just continue to engage with their youth group, that they would continue to engage with us and continue to build relationships. I think that is it. If you've got any ideas, if you've got any suggestions, if you've got any questions, hit us up. We would love to just continue to figure out ways that we can shepherd these students and be a part of the story that's unfolding in their lives right now.